Hi everybody. There's a lot of videos out there that show you how to wash your car, what kind of soap to use, what kind of cleaner do you use, how to do this and that. What I want to talk to you about today is more how to use a pressure washer properly to wash your car. My name's Joey Casper. I'm owner-operator at Joey's Mobile Detailing here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'd like to share with you a little something I'm excited about. This is the all-new AR 2050 electric pressure washer. It's a pretty neat little unit. I'm going to use this in the video, as you'll see later, to clean this car. And I want to show it to you because it's something that you yourself can do at home to get similar results of that of a professional detailer. So this is just over 2,000 psi, conserving water up to about 80% less than a garden hose at only 1.4 gallons per minute. So you're going to save a little time, you're going to save some money, you're going to have a fun time doing it. Some of the features on this item are, it's got a wand holder on the side. It's pretty well constructed, it's lightweight, but this is what I think is pretty cool about it. The unit comes right off of the cart. It's light, it's compact. You can throw it in your trunk to take somewhere to wash something. If you don't want to use the cart, you can set it on the ground, you can carry it around. There's also an optional shelf bracket that you can buy from AR, so you can mount this permanently in your garage. Make cleaning your car easy. So that comes on and off, really simple, locks into place. Another couple of quick features, it's got the cord wrap here with a quick release, so you can just pop the cord off. There's a neat little holder here for your different sprayer tips. There's a chemical container, so you can put car wash soaps in there if you'd like with the chemical tip. Make things easier for you to use. Also, when you have this unit mounted to the carrier, the wand is held here like I said, but when you pull this off, there's a holder here for your wand. So when you lift this up, you can pop the wand in this little holder here. Everything's contained. So all you have to do is take off the tip here, thread it into this easy quick connect on the end of the wand, and you're ready to go. Just pop in your favorite tip, start spraying. Another feature is some other units have cheap plastic connectors. This is the part where you connect your garden hose. So you're going to use this a lot. This is well constructed with brass and alloy. It also has a little screen in there to keep dirt and debris out of the water stream. Then you've got a nice metal connector here for your spray hose, which is hung conveniently on the back here. Comes with a little Velcro strap attached to the hose. Everything's contained in this neat little package. Again, it's lightweight, it's convenient, it's portable. Some of the other things that I like to talk about in this video, I use a foam cannon. This is something that a lot of detailers use. What this does is it takes your pressurized water, pulls up your soap and water mixture, sprays it out the end in a dense foam, so you can eliminate the need for a soapy bucket, water and soap. You can just coat your car in foam, hit it with the wash mitt, rinse it off. This unit is also available in the catalogs from AR, something you can buy when you buy your unit, save you some time. Now, I've been detailing cars for a little over 25 years. I prefer to use a gun like this. It looks different, but I'll tell you it performs exactly the same way as the one that comes with it. The main difference is I don't have this extension on the end. I have a handle here attached right to the gun with a quick connect here that I can change the tips out. The reason I like to use this shorter gun is it gives me the ability to reach in wheel arches, get down underneath the car without having to bend over too much, without having to kneel down. So it's really just a convenience thing because I do this several times a day, every day. Been doing this for years. So these parts are also available from AR. You can put this together yourself in various lengths. The handle, you can get the longer tips to put on the end. You can still use that nifty attachment that hooks up over to spray your gutters out. So you don't lose any use by using this. This is just my personal preference. This wand is very capable. It's going to work just fine for you at home. But know that if you choose to do something different, there's plenty of options for you, all from AR. What I'm going to talk about right now is a little bit about pre-treating your wheels, wheel arches, some of the rockers, same thing you would do on the front end of the car. I like to use an all-purpose cleaner. I'll pre-treat it, and let it dwell for a bit so we can lift some of the dirt off before you even get to washing your car. So I'll take my all-purpose cleaner, spray it a little bit on the tires, and then I'll hit the wheel wells, wheel arches. You can also spray along the rockers. Anything where there's heavier soiling, dirt, grime, dust, whatever. As you can see, it starts to lift some of that right now. So you're saving yourself some work when you get to the pressure washer. All right, I've got my custom wand and gun that I like to use, the shorter wand versus the ones that come with most units, because I like to get up underneath the wheel arch like this without having to bend over or kneel down and get wet. Just a quick tip. When you have your pressure washer hooked up to your garden hose at home, what I like to do when you first start using it is, without turning on the pump, just pull the trigger with the water on. So you can hear there's bubbles in the line. This is going to bleed any air out of the system, so the pump's not running without water in it, which is generally not good for a pressure washer. You don't ever want to run your pressure washer without any water going through it. You can risk burning up your pump and then subsequently having to spend more money on a new pressure washer. So again, bleed it out, make sure you get all the air out of the line before you turn it on. And the all-purpose cleaner doing its job makes it much easier to get all that dirt off. As you can see, the tires are nice and clean. And then I'll go ahead and hit any of the spots that I've pre-treated with the all-purpose cleaner or degreaser, bug and tar remover that you would like to use. So that's how I do that. And the next step I'll do is I'll grab my wheel cleaner. And you can use any number of products, from the iron dissolving wheel cleaners to acid-based wheel cleaners, or the non-acid environmentally safe wheel cleaners. So at this point I'll just spray the wheel cleaner how I would do it in my shop, making sure I get cleaner in the barrels, on the spokes, anything that you want to get clean, the center hub portion of the disc. Let that dwell for just a moment. And with the pressure washer, what you want to make sure you don't do is spray on flat surfaces, sort of like this lip. Not on this particular wheel, but some wheels, if you spray it directly on there, water's going to come right back in your face. So I just keep all those things in mind. Pressure washer is just going to make cleaning the wheel much easier. In most cases, you don't have to use the brushes or reach in there and get your hands all dirty. Comes in handy, but if on a wheel like this, with the right cleaner, the right pressure washer, you're going to be able to get it clean without having to do that. So I'll clean inside the wheel here on the barrel, being careful not to spray this lip. And then I'll come back out here, working from the top down to get all the wheel cleaner out of all the spokes. And then I'll go ahead and just spray the floor so that goes into the drain. And that's how I use a pressure washer to clean a wheel, wheel wells, tires, and so on. All right, I'm here at the back wheel. And obviously I'm going to clean it exactly the same way I clean the front wheel and all subsequent wheels. But one thing I didn't mention is a lot of these higher end cars have these textured fender liners. And they do that to quiet down cabin noise from rocks and things kicking up. It poses a problem if you're using a garden hose, because you don't have the pressure it's going to take to get all that built up grime out of the fender liner. It's a nasty mess. They look awful when they're dirty. So the pressure washer is going to make short work of that as well. And that's why I just wanted to show you that really quick. Cleaning the barrel, just like the front wheel. Get all that grime out of there. And now you hit that fender liner like I was talking about. I use the shorter one like this so I can get up underneath there. Most power washers come with the long wand, which is great, but I prefer this. As you can see, it's much easier for me to get in there. I don't know if you can see that, but the water coming off the back of here is just nasty. And that's all dirt and buildup inside these textured fender liners. You can see my wheel cleaner there doing its job. Without a pressure washer, you're not going to get those fender liners clean. I'm just going to show you a little continuation of the pre-treating process. I like to do, again, spray the front end of the car for bugs and things like that. Let them dwell while I'm doing the wheels and tires and what I'm going to show you now. I'll take my all-purpose cleaner, degreaser, or iron fallout remover, whatever you choose to use. I like to hit the mirrors. Any of the leading edges where you're going to find bugs in the upper Midwest, salt, grime, dirt, things that come off the road every day when you drive. Then I'll hit the panel. If the door is exceptionally dirty, I'll just do a light mist on the entire door. Generally, I'll focus on the rockers, getting underneath where you've got any kind of splash that's going to come off pretty easily with the degreaser. So I'll let that dwell for a moment. And I'll grab my pressure washer and rinse it off. Now that the all-purpose cleaner that I use has been on there and had a chance to dwell a bit, it's softened up all the dirt and grime. Now it's ready to be rinsed off with my AR pressure washer. I like to start at the top, work my way down, just like any process that I'll tell you cleaning a car, top down. Just focus a little bit on the mirrors if you got bugs there. Hit the back side of the mirror. Just kind of work my way down the panel, making sure I rinse everything off good. And the AR pressure washer makes short work of the dirt and grime. A lot easier, works better than a garden hose. Now that I've got the wheels and tires and wheel wells cleaned, and I've done all the pre-treating of the heavier dirt and sprayed that off, now I'm going to do is do a whole car pre-rinse or pre-soak. That's going to make sure I have the rest of any grit, sand, grime, anything like that off the car. And again, the pressure washer is going to make it much easier than just a garden hose. And I like to start at the top of the car, work my way down, and making sure I'm not just spreading dirt back up to the top. So it's just a good thorough rinse before I get to the soap, foam Canon, whatever you choose to do. I like to start at the top, like I said. Spray it down, hit the windshield, windows, and as you know, I've already cleaned this panel from all the salt. I did that same thing on the hood, the front of the car, working my way down, spraying off the back, coming down the side. And just as an example, that's how I will pre-soak the car. Now, working my way around the car, doing both sides, front and back. Now you have a nice, fairly clean surface to start your foam application, whether that's with a foam Canon, like I choose to do, or with soapy water in a bucket. But that's what I do now. Again, pressure washer makes short work of it. Now it's time to soap your car up. I choose to use the foam Canon, which is popular in the detail industry now. This is also a part that will be available through the AR catalog, and you can purchase this for use at home. So I'll show you how that works. Basically, you remove the tip that you're using. I prefer a 40-degree tip. As you saw me doing before, it gives you a nice angle. You don't have to be too close, too far away. That's my choice. 40 degrees and 25 are the two most popular tips. So you take your tip out like so, place it somewhere safe. I'll just throw it in my pocket. And now you connect the foam Canon the same way. With your quick release, pop it in, make sure it's clicked, slide forward, and it's not going to come out. So what this does is it takes your pressurized water, draws the soap mixture, and then applies a nice heavy foam to your vehicle. This eliminates the need to mix up a bucket of soapy water, which eliminates a lot of bending, and I refer to your particular car wash soap for the ratios, or with the foam cannon itself. Some of them tell you how to mix it. Also, trial and error. I'd like to mix it a certain way that's based on how I do it, how I find it works the best. So I'll show you how that works. These have an adjustable tip, which is going to give you a fan or a point. You'll see it's super easy, real quick. Again, I start at the top, get a good layer of foam on the car. You can adjust the spray pattern with this as well. You go through a stream to a fan. Just find what works for you. Get the soap on the car. Of course, you work your way around the car, but as you can see, this car is completely covered with foam and ready to wash. Though this isn't really a video on how to wash your car, more so on how to use a pressure washer to wash your car, I am going to cover briefly a good, solid, proper technique for washing your car. I like to use a 2-bucket method, and I always use a microfiber wash mitt. So the important thing is remembering that you have 1 bucket for dirty water to rinse, and then 1 for either a second rinse or your soapy water solution if you're not using a foam cannon. So I'll go ahead and I'll get the wash mitt wet. Wring it out. And then I'll head to the car, which we already sprayed with the foam cannon. Again, always starting at the top. You can just be sure you cover the entire car. I'm just doing a really quick example here. Starting at the top, working your way down. Again, you can hit the mirrors, so if by any chance you didn't get a bug or something with your pre-treatment, your pre-rinse, and your foam now is going to get the rest of everything on the car. So I'll hit the hood, back window, deck lid, and then we'll work my way around the car down to what I call the belt line, where they used to have molding on cars. And then once that's done, then you can do from the belt line down. After each panel or large section, remember, rinse, wring it out, and in my case, because I used a foam cannon, a second rinse. That's going to ensure that I'm not picking up any dirt that may have been on the car and spreading it around or risk scratching your paint job. Now that you've washed your car properly, you can remove the foam cannon, pop in your desired tip. Again, I like to use the 40 degree because of the fan pattern it gives me, just personal preference. Again, 40 or 25 are the 2 most popular. Pop that back in your AR pressure washer, then you rinse the car off. Start at the top, just like everything else, rinse it off, work your way down. This will make cleaning your car a lot easier, again, than a garden hose. You've got more control where you're putting the water. You've got a better coverage, and of course, more pressure to remove things that are on the car, whether it's soap, dirt, grime, or whatever. Again, always better than a garden hose. That's 2/3 of the car right there. As you can see, it doesn't take long at all to wash your car. All you have to do is continue around the rest of the car, rinse it off. You're ready to dry. Put some wax on it, be on your way. Have a great day in the sun with your car. I just want to take a minute to talk a little bit about some safety considerations, do's and don'ts, some basic information about properly using a pressure washer. There's common misconception that a pressure washer is going to blast the paint off your car. If you're not using a 5,000 PSI or 50,000 PSI unit, you're not going to blast the paint off your car. That being said, if your car is riddled with chips and paint that's already flaking, yes, you can remove the paint from your car. But generally speaking, if you own a car that you care about enough to use a pressure washer to clean, you're not going to have this problem. There are some things you do want to avoid, like you don't want to spray 2 inches away from the car because you're wasting time. You're really not covering much ground, and you can risk scratching the paint with the gun itself. Nobody wants to cause damage to their car. So what I recommend is just keeping a distance anywhere from 1 to 3 feet, just as a safe figure, because you're not going to cause any problems when you're swinging back and forth. You don't want to hit your mirror. You don't want to crack a window. But the spray itself is not going to rip the paint off your car. If you have some decals or sometimes emblems, if you put them on aftermarket, they may not be secured well enough. You don't want to spray it directly. Most factory badges you can get right on. You see I'm only a couple inches away. This particular unit's just over 2,000 PSI. It's not going to tear those off. There's no chance of that unless you're doing something wrong. You're generally pretty safe cleaning your car with a pressure washer. No need to be afraid of it. Other things more geared towards you, the user, you don't want to spray this in your face. You don't want to spray it in your mouth. You don't want to put your hand over the end. These are all things that it is a high enough pressure that it can harm you. So if you use what I think is a little common sense, just follow these practices when you're washing your car, you're not going to run into any issues using a pressure washer. Don't be afraid of it. Pressure washers are wonderful. The AR pressure washers use up to 80% less water than a garden hose. So when you're holding your thumb over the end of the hose trying to make pressure to clean the dirt, you're still wasting water. You're not achieving the spray pattern or the spray force that you get from a pressure washer. You're not going to do as good a job cleaning your car. So up to 40 times more spraying force with a pressure washer than your thumb over the end of your garden hose or any sprayer trigger nozzle that you're going to put on the garden hose. Pressure washers just in general are going to be much, much better for you to use on your pressure washer, both in ease of use, speeding up your job, and safety, in addition to saving water, which a lot of people are real conscious of saving water. So that being said, check out the Novi Reverbery pressure washers. They'll make your car washing job go a lot quicker, a lot easier, and more fun. If you have any more questions about either proper use of a pressure washer or features of this unit or any other from AR that I didn't cover, feel free to reach out to them at arblueclean.com or get a hold of me. Look for Joy's Mobile Detailing Inc. on Facebook or give me a call, 612-327-8586.